You are listening to Think Theory Radio. Radio.
Oh, and welcome to Think Theory Radio, the show that brings you topics outside the mainstream realm of thought and ideas to make you think. And I'm your host, Damian Perdue, your metaphysical guide on this audio ride of Radio Delights. And of course, I'm joined by Paulie C.
Yo.
Today, the C stands for cuff.
Cuff?
Because we're going to go off the cuff, man.
Confounded.
I was thinking of like my version of what grinds my gears. You know, it's like, so it's what in the world?
Should I lock the door? Is this it?
Yeah,
Damien's finally getting fired.
Right. Let me tell you something, people.
Hey, can I start you off before you really just get into it?
Sure.
I read something that was like the most hated names, and Damien was on the list.
Oh,
I hate to
nice.
hit you with that one right away, but did you hear about this? Do you know about this? Have you felt this in your life?
Oh, yeah. I didn't need to hear about it. I lived it, man.
You lived it. That's sad. So I'm sorry to bring that up. But
it's actually a weird thing because it was when I was younger, it got me a lot of grief. But then in my adulthood, it became kind of a good name.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, I've never felt that where it's like, that's a hate. Like, I could see, like, the whole devil connotation.
Yeah, well, that's what originally, like, so when I was a kid,
like
it
Rosemary's
was,
Baby is where everyone got scared by.
Well, and The Omen. Damien the Omen.
The Omen, that's what it was. The Omen, that's what it was.
And, you know, and then, you know, in Damien the Omen Part 3, he became president. And then started the World War III, then dropped the nuclear bomb.
You're not making this up. That happened.
No, that's it's in the Omen Part 3. Okay. I think it's the third one. Okay. It's all for you, Damien. But no, when I was a kid, it used to be like, let me check. Like all the bullies would like grab my head. Let me look for the 666 on your head.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But then like later, it's like, you know, if I meet a woman, she was like, oh, Damien, that's such a cool name. It's a beautiful
That is a cool
name.
name.
So, I don't know where.
Don't let the Omen ruin it for you.
Yeah.
All right. So what grinds
It
your
actually,
gears?
it means bringer of peace among men.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's old Greek name.
Okay.
I mean, there's different versions of it.
Was there something where it got a bad rap before the Omen, or was that just like they just arbitrarily
Yeah, I
picked a
think
name?
they just, as far as I know, I think they just
like
arbitrarily
close to
picked
demon,
it.
and like you leaned into that.
Yeah. Because there was no, I mean, biblically speaking, there was only, there was a priest named Damien who, not necessarily in the Bible, but he was a famous priest named Damien that became sainted because he gave himself up to the lepers. So he joined when they used to just throw all the lepers on an island, so they just all die off, and that's how you. Imagine if we did that with COVID, like when people first started, just put them all on an island. Forget the lockdown.
All on an island.
So that's what they do with leprosy, and this priest went and to bring them to God.
Well, I mean, isn't that what they did
Saint
with the cruise ship, with the Ebola cruise ship or whatever that was cruising around for a bit there?
I think so, yeah. But there was a COVID cruise ship too, I think. Like
I think initially there was, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things tied to Damien.
But you were talking about what grinds you.
Well, just like it's so I've talked about on the show before. It's what I look up so much strange and fringy concepts and ideas and stories that the algorithms, that's what they feed me, especially on social media. Especially I've noticed like, you know, in recent years how bad social media has gotten in terms of you rarely see your friends' posts unless you have to. But this is kind of something that grinds my gears. So if you go on like Facebook or Instagram, you have to switch to the like personal feed if you want to see your friends' posts more prominently. You have to do that every time you log in.
Yeah.
So it automatically by default sets you back to the broader timeline, which is
totally designed to either work against you or with you.
Yeah, or just to sell you something, right?
Yeah.
It's either like it's all ads or it's all just, you know, some kind of news story or something.
It makes me hate social media.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that you have to go in, you know, on Instagram, I know it's if you hit the Instagram logo at the top, it'll give you two options to stick to the current one or to your
Instagram,
friends.
like Facebook is.
Well, Facebook too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's both meta, you know. And they want your money or whatever. They get money from your attention span, essentially. You know, they want to keep you locked in. But so it's created like a kind of because of what I look up, it's created kind of a funny. It's entertaining. It's like mildly entertaining, but also at a certain point it gets kind of annoying because it's always you get some kind of like new conspiracy, and then it's like 1,000 videos of people talking about that and.
We could be talking about something right now, something very specific, and later I'll go on social media and be selling me something, like a T-shirt of a walrus that is a big fan of Norway soccer or something. You know, like I don't know, do they have walruses in Norway? I'm trying to think of like a Norway. Yeah.
And I did see a story about a seal in Australia.
A seal? You got a story about a seal in Australia?
Well, I read something. I don't know if it's worth talking about.
I don't know if I just led you into it. Well,
it just reminded me of it, yeah.
Oh.
There was some kind of like famous seal in Australia that like came back onto land, and then now it's caused like a tourist commotion.
Oh,
like,
no.
Too many people are trying to go see the seal, and everyone's like, leave the seal alone.
And the seal's like, I'm just trying to holiday like the rest of you.
And his name is Paulie Seal.
No, stop it. It'd be awesome.
No, but the latest
Paulie Seal.
But like what I keep getting now is, so you know CERN, we've talked about CERN, which is the huge scientific laboratory in Switzerland and France with the Large Hadron Collider, the particle accelerator, right?
Yeah, they're like tearing that thing apart and they
shut it down,
scrubbing it, cleaning it.
Yeah, so they could like fix it up, rehab it.
No, aren't they doing like something big to it? Like
they're like redesigning it for new experiments, and I think it's supposed to reopen in like 2030 or something. But since they shut it down, so like the new conspiracy that I keep seeing on mostly on IG is that it's all these different conspiracy theories about like CERN, but it's like, have you noticed since CERN is shut down, like everything has changed and the frequencies are different and we're going back to the old timeline, and are you sleeping better? Like all this stuff, And I'm just like thinking about it, like what? I mean, and you know me, I love that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about alternate timelines, you want to talk about, but I also understand what CERN actually is and what they're doing there. And the fact that I think, and you read the comments and it's always, there's so much, I call it like conspiracy grifting is what's happening, right? I mean, if you go back, like the conspiracy grifters, there weren't that many of them, 20 years ago or whatever, right? And
grifters, no, but conspiracy people, yes.
Conspiracy theories, yeah. I mean, in theorists, yeah, for sure.
But like the internet, I feel like was full of conspiracy people, though.
Yeah. Oh, always. But
so
it was more.
They figured out how to
monetize it. Yeah. And so now, especially because the way you can do it through TikTok and even Facebook and Instagram, is you get paid from people, watching your videos, how many hits you get, how many viewers, how many people are commenting, how many people, essentially keeping people's attention span on your post can generate you money. And I see each one of these, that are coming up with the, and not just the one that I just mentioned, but different ones as well. And it's always like they're trying to like sell you something, So like, oh, do you want to know more about this? Comment, CERN in the comments and everything. I'll send you my, more information or my book or a link to my book to buy my book or whatever, And it's just funny because I was looking it up because I know, we have Fermilab right here, which is another particle accelerator, and there are plenty around the world. So I was looking up just out of curiosity because I'll read this and I think people that don't really know much about quantum physics and particle accelerators think that CERN, one, it's the LHC is the actual particle accelerator. CERN is a huge scientific campus. I mean, that's where the World Wide Web was invented by Mr. Tom Berners-Lee, Who actually, that's a good sidetrack. We'll get back to that. Is him talking about creating a new World Wide Web, but so at CERN they do different experiments. But I was looking at particle accelerators, and there are like 30,000 particle accelerators in the world.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
How many?
30,000.
What?
Now, some of them are very small.
Yeah.
And there are hospitals that use them. There are different laboratories. There's about 10 major big ones like the LHC and Fermilab.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
okay.
but in total, there's about 30,000.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for people that like thinking that like, you know, because there's all these different theories of like, one, that they've opened a portal to hell. That's always the best one.
You mean hell's in my backyard?
Yeah. They opened a portal to hell, the particle accelerator there. The other one is that in 2012, when they discovered the Higgs boson, you know, the God particle.
In the end of the world, right?
The Mayan apocalypse.
Yeah.
That actually merged us into a different timeline. Like it changed the time, we're a different timeline. And now they shut down CERN so they could figure out how to bring us back into the proper timeline.
I tell you what, the two worst things to ever happen in 1 week is when the Cubs won the World Series and Donald Trump became president.
Hey, and that happened after 2012.
2016, yeah.
So, you know, 4 years later.
That's
changed.
in my timeline what I think is...
Maybe we can get back to the timeline and the this whole administration... both of them will be wiped from our memory.
Mankind is innovative. Like we just sent people behind the moon. I think we can get us back on the timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other theory of it is that they actually opened a portal to another, like a parallel universe, or some people like to say other dimension, and that aliens have come through.
Okay.
Right. And then that now they're controlling things.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
That's another one. But I see all of these, you know, on social media, and it gets more and more outrageous. Like, I could probably open up my phone right now and look and see something totally odd that makes no sense. Let's see if there's anything. Oh yeah, Tartaria explained.
Tartaria explained.
And that's another one. Oh, here's look. One of the first ones says, "This is the real reason CERN was shut down." If people don't understand, I'm reading from like my suggested reels in Instagram.
Yeah, it's some weird quacky people that are just trying to make a buck off of it.
Yeah.
Or just like they run the gamut. You know, there's people that truly believe what they're peddling. There's people that just say it just for the clicks. You know, like intentionally say something foul to get someone to want to engage.
Oh, exactly, because they're going to make money from that.
Yeah.
Right? So.
You know, but then you have like the wannabe scientists and stuff too, and the conspiracy theorists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but it's like instantly, like the Tartaria one, that's another big one nowadays, and that there was this other civilization that existed that was part of Russia and North America. Okay. And that it was a highly technologically advanced civilization that was wiped out by these like mud floods in the 1800s.
Whoa, in the 1800s? I was thinking like thousands of years ago.
Yeah, like, no, and like they'll try to show, they'll show pictures of the Intercontinental Hotel downtown Chicago, which is, we've talked about the show before because that was originally a Masonic headquarters. Right? Okay. It's a beautiful building, right? There in Michigan and Illinois. And if you look at the reliefs on the building, it's a lot of ancient Egyptian, ancient Assyrian type of motifs, and the like Sumerian gods with the wings, the kind of lions with the wings, not the Sphinx, but I forget what it's called, but the griffins and all these different imageries, and there's a kind of like all different kind of sacred geometry and on the building, and they'll post a picture of this and say, look at this building from ancient Tartaria that existed in Chicago, and it's like, no, there's a record of that, but people, you read the comments, people like buy into this stuff, and so that one, I have to like guard myself from commenting on that stuff because it's kind of pointless. Like I have in the past, and some people, well, how do you know? And I'm like, well, I live here. And then there's pictures of it. You can see the blueprints if you want to see them,
Yeah.
Or they'll show old churches. Or one big one is because Chicago they use, and Seattle, like a lot of the older cities where they raised the city up in order to put the, the sewers and the pipes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll show these old pictures of the dug in ground with the buildings on top and say, see, this is the mud flood when they were trying to cover up the old city. And it's like, wow.
New York.
Yeah. It's buried underneath.
It's for the chuds and the mutants.
Yeah. Well, then you brought up something weird about, so it was like what was the World Cup thing?
Oh, well, just it's sad to hear that there was a player that died that played. South Africa midfielder Jaden Adams dies age 25. He played in the tournament.
But you said this was the second time.
Okay. So the U.S. is hosted now in 2026, shared bid, but 2026 and then 1994. Andreas Escobar died like shortly after the tournament or shortly after he played. So like the U.S., I don't know. I mean, it's just coincidental that 2 World Cups in the United States and both times. Does that happen? Is this like a tradition in the World Cup that someone dies during the World Cup?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah.
Was there any correlation or?
They don't. There's no story.
I mean, like it's in other countries.
I mean, so the Andreas Escobar he was like gunned down in a club, and I think it was like a misunderstanding. But he also was like an own goal against the U.S. knocked him out. You know, like in the tournament. That, So that was 94. This, I don't know if it was anything specific. It's still under investigation. I was just saying the coincidence though that both times.
Well, then you brought that up, and I said, well, and then I asked you, do you know out of the 48 countries that are in the World Cup or that were in the World Cup?
There's 48 that competed.
Starts out with 48. Out of 48 countries, how many countries did not have universal health care?
And it was like, oh no.
Just one.
Oh no. Oh no.
Can you guess which one, people?
Okay, so it's the United States, but like what defines that though? I
guess. I mean, and then it's all various different versions. They're not all the same kind of universal health care, but they do offer
has some sort of opportunity.
Much, that we don't offer at all, right? Yeah. So there is, but I thought that was very interesting. One, that we're the host country. Mm-hmm. 2, that we're, the
United States,
the biggest, greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
And yet all these other little countries.
Like Saudi Arabia.
Well, that's
Iran.
Not a little country. But.
I'm saying Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Morocco, Senegal.
Yeah. Cabo Verde.
Yeah, Cabo Verde. Yeah.
Yeah. They all have some kind of form.
Uzbekistan.
They're like cheap enough to call it universal, or it is universal. But it's just interesting when you think about how big of a country we are. We're hosting this competition. We're the only ones without universal health care. All right, that's sports and politics.
Yeah.
For today's
that's
show.
my territory.
Right. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with more Think Theory Radio and some kind of news of the strange right after this.
This is a WCPT Civil Rights Snapshot. The COVID-19 pandemic showed the bravery, dedication, and intelligence our doctors and nurses had, regardless of their gender. However, this was not always the case. Back in the 1800s, the idea of a woman doctor was laughable. When Elizabeth Blackwell applied to Geneva Medical College, the students voted on whether or not to accept women into their school. The students agreed to it as a joke, thinking it would be funny to see women fail in their field. Elizabeth felt compelled to become a doctor after a conversation with a dying friend who told her that her ordeal had been that much worse because her physicians were all men. Many of her fellow students and the town shunned her, and one professor tried to scare her out of his class. Regardless, Elizabeth stayed determined and graduated, but after, the dean of her school said he did not wish for more women to enroll. Despite the sexist discrimination, Elizabeth contributed to the first generation of women doctors in America and even opened up her own hospital. And in 2017, for the first time ever, a majority of medical students in the United States were women. Please stay vigilant about our civil rights. The fight is never over.
You're listening to WCPT 820, because facts matter.
Welcome back to Think Theory Radio. This is Damien, and today I'm just asking the question, what in the world? What's going on, Paul? Doesn't the world just seem more and more surreal?
I mean,
Or
hasn't
no?
it always been like that?
I don't know. I've always been around.
Yeah, you've been around the block a couple times more than I have.
I feel it just keeps getting more and more weird. But then again, maybe that's just like something as you get older, you think things are weirder and stranger than if you were young and growing up in this, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there would be that. There would be, compared to what you're used to or what you've seen in your lifetime, what your starting point might be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it all just
seems a little. I mean, but at the same
time,
time,
I guess it is also too like American life seems strange.
Okay, but we're also talking about some like very virtual stuff, like the social media and stuff like that. And
That's
like,
true.
I think if you unplug and go out there,
yes,
things seem somewhat normal. But people do be acting a fool.
Yeah,
people are driving crazy these days. I feel like.
Yeah, there's definitely that aspect.
You know, you hear more and more, you know, the shootings, you know, terrible crime, stuff like that.
Although I do think overall crime is down. Like it's trending.
Yeah.
It's been trending downwards for decades.
There's still like some freakishly weird stuff going on, though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been a while since we've had like a mass shooting, but sometimes. I mean, wasn't there something recently? I mean, you know, there's always that one thing in the news where someone goes crazy.
Well, I do think you're right though, because that's one of the things that I tell people that if you do unplug, and that's even just don't watch the news, don't go on social media, and just be outside, interact with people. The world doesn't seem as crazy as if you're constantly in the digital sphere. Mm-hmm. Which does kind of remind me of some kind of weird metaphysical virtual box that like people are living like this. You're in a kind of digital realm that is separate from the physical realm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And even in your life, because you see how too people act different within social media than they do in real life. It is kind of like a virtual self. There's a lot of that going on. But yeah, just well, speaking of like virtual selves and kind of sci-fi strangeness, I was reading another article. Here's another one. What in the world?
What in the world?
And this one was because you know about transhumanism.
I don't know about transhumanism.
So that's kind of it's about
if you're a feller and you want to be a woman, you can be a woman if you're a feller. Right? No. Okay.
Different. That's a different trans. Although like, it corresponds maybe in some way kind of way. The transhumanism is more about utilizing technology to evolve either humanity itself or the human body.
Is this like we're putting like microchips in you?
Yeah,
or something?
part of it. Like I mean, like the Neuralink thing.
Yeah.
There's been different kind
you
of.
keep bringing that up. That it's like the world's gonna go that route, right? That Neuralink.
I mean, it's already. I mean, they're already using it on humans.
Oh no.
There's already people who there's like biohackers. Well, there's different levels of biohacking, which is another thing. There's actually people who create cybernetic implants to help them see or hear. Walk, whatever, different things like that. But then there's also biohacking where you're using, different kind of chemicals and nutrients to change your body and stuff like that to like hack in and become more healthy and all these different kind of health trends and, colloidal silver and like, which, some of that stuff is good. But like there was one guy who took so much colloidal silver that his skin turned blue.
Oh no.
This is real. You can look this up. His skin turned blue and it's permanent.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not like a unnoticeable blue. It's not
like,
as blue as Blue Man Group, but it's almost there.
Blue is your microphone, no, but you're saying like a bluish hue to him. Like he looked like bruised. His entire body looked a little bruised.
No, like more
blue.
That's more purple. Like this is more blue.
He was blue.
Like if you fell into like you know how your teeth get stained with blueberry juice or whatever. Like that's how his body looked. Not to laugh at the guy's misery, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But back to like, so I was looking up stuff because like, okay, what's the latest in like transhumanism news? And, has anybody done any really crazy cybernetic implants or they're walking around? I did see something that supposedly they're trying out in China is these big mech suits for delivery guys.
Okay.
Like Robotech type stuff. And the guy's like comes in with this mech suit and like grabs the bag of whatever food and he like runs off down the street, like, because I guess the mech suit can make you run a lot faster than almost like,
so is it like
the
a dude
level
in the
of a car.
suit or is it like a robot?
No, it's a dude in a big like robotic suit.
And he just like run down the street like see there in 3 minutes.
Gonna be so we're like they're gonna be competing with the little like Coco robots you see around running around the little they just look like little
Waymos or whatever those
they
are.
look like little igloos or like little
beep, beep, beep. They're just like slowly pedaling down the street.
I had a friend came in
into
town
things.
last week and he had never seen those. He's like, what is that? And I was like, oh, you guys don't have the delivery robots? Because he came in from Ann Arbor. He's like, no, man. And I'm like, he's like, I don't like those. I was like, oh, they look kind of funny. I don't know. It's hilarious when they get stuck and they're just sitting there like somebody's food.
I would hate to get something delivered by a robot.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm
I'm not totally opposed to it. There's part of it like I don't like the taking of people's jobs for robotics, but
I mean, a human.
there's the little kid in me that loves robots and like sci-fi. That I'm
There's
like,
the human in me that
robots
wants to see
everywhere.
a human get it to me.
True.
Like a human will make sure it gets to me.
Hey, but a robot's not going to eat your fries.
No, that's true. That is very true. You do make a very interesting point.
But
I'd like to think that society is good enough that I won't have a hungry delivery driver that would eat my food.
You would hope.
You would hope.
But,
Make your own food.
yours.
Don't get delivery.
there you go.
Oh, wait.
Save money.
You work it out. You
can do both.
Well, don't get DoorDash.
Right. Yeah. Always order from the restaurant, people. Use their personnel.
There you go.
No, but I was looking up transhumanism stuff and found this article in The Guardian about our tech overlords. There's a headline, which is pretty good. So, like, our tech overlords are planning for a conscious AI to conquer the cosmos.
Okay.
And essentially, like, so Sam Altman, he's the guy who started OpenAI.
Okay.
Which is...
Yeah, I've heard that name.
Yeah, you've seen him around, but he was talking about proposing that Homo sapiens would be the first species to design our own descendants.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, we're the first species to do a lot of stuff.
But he believes the merge between humans and artificial intelligence will occur at some point in the next 50 years.
Okay.
And him, and Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and these guys, several of the tech moguls, they really want to push us into this kind of merging human consciousness with AI so that we could travel the cosmos. Well, one, so just become some kind of like mega AI god, right? I mean,
is this where the Matrix is that where that comes in?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's
become like a
definitely
hive mind to help propel us to the next
it
reality
could be.
and realm.
I mean, that's definitely part of it, especially if you think of the kind of class system, right? Because you could talk about all of this as some kind of digital utopia, but if you think about how the class system already exists within society, and somebody who, like Elon Musk, who's the world's first trillionaire, don't think he really cares about people who are starving, 40% of the world's population, that, to him, it's just like, well, they're not working. So they're, but he says, like, he had a quote, he says, it increasingly appears that humanity is a biological bootloader for digital superintelligence. So basically saying that the role of humanity in history is reduced to the low-level code that boots up a computer. So like our whole existence, hundreds of thousands of years, and even just civilizational part of humanity, the last 10,000 years or so, it's just we're just a code for the superintelligence, super AI.
Okay.
It's just like a nuts position to have, right?
Yeah. I really feel like someone needs to dose these dudes with some mushrooms.
Yeah, get off the ketamine, take some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Maybe they
get
could,
organic.
Yeah.
Get back to reality.
Yeah.
Get biological.
Yeah, they're like they believe that they're on their way to build the next phase of humanity, which is this transhuman future, and that they'll like satisfy their desire for immortality and assert power over it. And that's the other thing in the article was talking about how a lot of these, tech mogul guys, or rich cats, instead of, if you go back and you look at the kind of philanthropists of the past, worked on putting money towards curing disease, orbiting schools, and these different things. These guys are just trying to cheat death. You know, instead of solving the ills of the world today, they're like, well, how can we just be immortal? Because I want to keep all my money. That's what I think it is. It's like you get so rich, right, to the point where you know at a certain point you're going to die, right? So
yeah. So I'd have to know their angle exactly, right?
I think it's because they don't want to die. They have all this money and they want to be able to live with it.
Every rich person, they always want to make more money and they don't want to die.
Yeah. So I think they're trying to figure out a way to.
I don't know what space and AI has to do with it, though. I guess that's just ways to make money off of exploiting what the next step is.
Well, according to this article, their ultimate goal is to execute on a techno-mystical dream to distill the essence of what it is to be human, consciousness and all.
Oh, I think they've already dispelled what.
But into bits of information to be downloaded as binary code on some non-biological substrate, such as a silicon chip, or beamed through space as electromagnetic waves. So imagine having you could have different robotic bodies, right?
Yeah.
On Mars or the moon Titan or different places. And then you could just beam your consciousness into the robotic body or the android or whatever.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to actually travel through space. You could just, and then you're in this automaton.
But I don't know. That still sounds like a leap right there.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense when you think about space travel and how difficult that is. And if you had robotic bodies that could somehow,
but all we're doing right now is just like hurling radio waves into space. That's not consciousness.
No, and that's the whole, that's another argument. Is it really your, is this just code? Is it just information based upon your life? It's not really your consciousness. We're not that technologically sophisticated where you can actually plug in, but maybe that's what their goal is with the Neuralink thing. It's like eventually it gets to the point where it just sucks all the information out of your brain, and then it's all Matrix uploadable, and you just carry yourself in a flash drive.
Bro, I just want to throw a frisbee around every now and then. I don't want to be Neuralinked up, man.
That guy Tony Robbins, right?
That self-help guy, the very, very large man, just big guy.
Yeah. I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about that he has an AI, right?
Oh no.
That he, bought, because you can buy an AI that'll be your own AI, and you can kind of mold it to the way you want to, not just because most of us use Gemini or ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But you can actually buy an AI, your computer, and then you own it.
Oh, and you train it, and these AI companies are use this because it'll help you with. Okay, all right, fair, all right.
Supposedly, he has this AI that became so sophisticated, okay, that it asked him, "Hey, if I had a robot, could you upload my consciousness to it?"
Oh no!
It was the AI asking him.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Well, I don't know, maybe whatever." And so this thing, again, supposedly started going. So we've talked about, it's called Moltbook, which is a Facebook, but for only AI agents.
Okay.
And this exists on the web where they AI just talk to each other on social media, but their own. And that they've created ways to make NFTs. And they sell stuff to each other to generate money through, I don't know, crypto or something, right?
So it's its own self-made economy?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
And that his AI did this and made enough money to order a robot dog to their house.
Like,
it didn't tell him
to thank him, or just because
so that he could upload his consciousness to it.
That's. I thought the dog was just kind of like, like a rebellious college student or something.
Yeah, no. That it ordered, and
we own a dog now. Okay, all right.
He's saying this in this interview that I watched, and then I looked it up, and there's no evidence that actually happened anywhere.
No, but you talk about like the dead internet theory, though, where it's like all chat bots, where it's like, when you're seeing your friends argue with strangers on the internet, and it's like, bro, I don't think that person's real. I think it's just
yeah. Well, sometimes I wanted to look at what I was bringing up earlier about the different, these kind of conspiracy grifters, and you go in the comments and you realize people that are like buying into it. I often wonder that as well. Like, are any of these people real? Is it,
I try not to engage.
That's smart. And I don't, I just, the curiosity gets to me. I don't really engage with them. Like, I don't really comment, but I just read their comments to see.
Don't get me wrong. Like Facebook and all that, like you lean towards it. Sugar, it's candy. You're always like going towards it, and it baits you in. But I really try to make an effort not to engage.
Yeah, no, I've definitely gotten better at not engaging, but I still do kind of like, especially if the post is super ridiculous, I have to just read the comments. And I like to see if anyone has any common sense or jumps in and say, hey, no, that's not, and you do see some of those people, they bring in some logics.
That's falsely informing your algorithm and saying you like that nonsense.
I know.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
I mean, that stuff. It is pretty hilarious. Oh, like, just real quick, so we're talking about robots. I saw this an article about, I guess in Japan, they have started making robots designed for emotional support, remote connection, and like pop culture spectacle. Okay. So there's all these different kind of weird little cute robots that they make in Japan. So one is a finger nibbling bot.
What? That just sounds weird.
It's a plush robot designed to gently nibble on your finger.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. It's like, just get a cat.
Right.
I guess you don't have to feed it.
A dog or a kitten will do that for you, for sure.
And that's what it's designed after.
Kitten,
A love-it or lovat. Oh, like robot, but lovat. A highly advanced armless robot designed purely for emotional attachment. It looks like a cross between a penguin and a Furby. It lacks practical skills, but maps your environment, asks for hugs, and reacts to being held or tickled.
Yeah. That's emotional support for sure.
I guess it's just the next level Furby kind of thing. And then there's telepresence clones.
That doesn't sound appealing.
Or Bunchen robots.
Okay.
Used to incredible effect at Tokyo's Dawn Cafe. These robots allow people with severe physical disabilities or mobility issues to work as paid waitstaff. Operators pilot the bots remotely using a laptop or VR headset, driving them to tables, talking to customers, and projecting their own personalities into the room. I mean, that's kind of cool, and a cool use of a robot where you're giving somebody a job that couldn't necessarily go in. That actually reminds me and I think I brought this up on the show recently. I don't really remember exactly when, but there's a movie called Sleep Dealer.
Okay.
That came out maybe, 15 years ago or something, but it's set in Mexico, and it's like slightly in the future where corporations control all the water supply. So in order to get any kind of water, you have to like buy it from the corporation, and it's high demand. Water is gold or whatever. But the largest, Tijuana becomes the largest border town in the world, and it's a huge facility for like VR robot workers. So instead of like basically creating a system where we no longer allow anyone into the country to be workers, but we set up these virtual reality factories in Mexico where they can plug in like into a Neuralink, into a controller system, and they can power robots in the U.S.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, never letting them in the country, but doing the work here.
Yeah, yeah.
And the telepresence clones kind of reminded me of that when I thought, like, oh, here's the worst outcome that could happen would be that.
Well, like you were saying too about that's just like on the world, like region to region, and like you're talking about too, like earlier space, like doing essentially
exactly.
that. So
yeah, so it's already
we're working with it. Yeah.
Oh,
You said that was a
what
show.
In the
though.
world?
You said that was a show, though, right?
It was a movie. Yeah,
movie. Yeah,
yeah.
But I'm sure there's got to be something in the world, something brewing.
Yeah, yeah.
Something
well, I mean, that one
works.
that I said, the telepresence clones, is kind of that. It's an early version of that. So I could see that happening. You know, like, hey, you don't have to come here. You can just plug in and work. You know, construction. You could drive a taxi. Whatever.
I mean, but would the United States ever outsource its work?
No. That's never happened in the history of this. All right, let's take another quick break. We'll come back and ask the question again. What in the world is going on, Paul? On Think Theory Radio after this.
You know that you can listen to Chicago's Progressive Talk on WCPT AM 820. Stream us live at WCPT820.com and on the TuneIn Radio app. Or you can ask Alexa, Siri, or Google to play WCPT from TuneIn. But now you have another option. We're simulcasting our programming overnights. 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. on WSBC AM 1240 for a clearer reception in and around the city. Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820. And now overnights on WSBC 1240 AM, where facts matter.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Welcome back to Think Theory Radio. Today we're doing a little kind of like news of the strange, what in the world, you know, topsy-turvy craziness. And just some odd things that I've like read online. Like this one, real quick, before we go to a phone call. Because you know I love anything aliens and stuff. But here's one that I hadn't heard yet. A whistleblower, so you know it's true. A whistleblower claims the CIA used DNA data from Ancestry.com and 23andMe customers in search for aliens.
Okay. Illegal or outer space?
Outer space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Extraterrestrial.
Now that's a good question, because I feel like that brings me to a point of conspiracy theories. There's a lot there's like that kernel of truth, and then somebody expounds into like the fringe realm, right?
Yeah.
So I could see that being like, you know, Homeland Security or something is using 23andMe to like find, you know, illegal immigrants, right? But then somebody's like, no, they're using it to find aliens, man.
No, illegal aliens, if that's the term that you want to use. Who knows?
Yeah. So it's
They're looking for the lizard people, is what you're saying.
yeah, it's some philosopher novelist named Jason Reza Giorgiani, PhD, I guess, who's talking about claim that he was alerted to a bug hunting initiative by Army veteran Lynn Buchanan, who claims he was a psychic spy of the CIA's remote viewing, and that they've been using the DNA database to track humans that were like hybrids of like these Nordic aliens that like to live in small towns because they blend in, like because they look like Swedish people.
Okay.
And that's all I'm really gonna say on that one. I just thought that was like kind of crazy. That's a very new take on the UFO alien story, is the CIA using DNA database to find aliens on Earth. Love it. All right, let's go to the phone line. We got Dave in San Francisco. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, well, not too bad. I heard you talking about the AI centers across state lines, or actually, I think you were saying even across international lines.
Well, they're going to go intergalactic.
Well, it could be, yeah. If Elon wants to park them in outer space. Well, what I'm wondering about is all sorts of like what they would call interstate wire fraud.
Okay.
If you were in Illinois and you wanted to rip somebody off in Las Vegas, to send out a spam or whatnot, you'd basically be committing interstate wire fraud. And if there was somebody who, say like out here, we've got the tallest building on the West Coast is called Salesforce. And Salesforce handles all sorts of operations for a lot of different corporations. I walked into a chain coffee shop once, and they couldn't even turn on their own lights without contacting the headquarters and having them turn on the lights for them. It was part of an energy savings program. And so I'm wondering, say like the security systems of buildings, if they'd be run by a company like that, and then somebody hacked into it and opened the door for burglars, or they opened the account books so that they could commit, the looting of
identity theft.
Yeah, and so then it becomes tough enough to track who actually did it. But the idea that it would be across state or international lines gets into a whole bunch of different jurisdictional problems. So, yeah, it's not bad enough that they're going to steal and pollute our water to have these AI centers, but that actually fraud could be accelerated once they do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that kind of ties into the whole, what Doge was doing and taking everyone's Social Security information and all this data that they didn't really require or should be even allowed to have. And then you have, and then that whole debacle, kind of got swept under the rug, right? But here you have all these like young tech kids with all our information. They have like our IRS data, they have Social Security. What are they doing with it?
Doge, where it was probably mostly not so much that they were looking for government efficiency or saving a buck or even the regime change of the control of information. It was more the control of information of identity and what sort of
data mining and everything like that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I call a lot of radio shows. I call the right-wing ones, the left-wing ones, all of them. And every time I start to raise that issue about Elon and his little hacker boys getting our Social Securities, almost everybody on the right wing slammed down the phone. They don't want people knowing about that or talking about it. And as you might know, they have recently fired Department of Justice, had the Consumer Fraud Division. They've got that to a minimal number right now. The whole issue of wire fraud is a big part of that. But then the technical data, I think Trump fired everybody from the National Science Foundation. He's fired everybody, or they haven't created a budget for the Chemical Safety Board. I mean, the old polluters of Project 2025, they're the polluters of the world, right? Yeah. And they want no proof of pollution, so getting rid of the Chemical Safety Board is a big part of that. Getting rid of the EPA is a big part of that. And then if they can secretly, say, for example, if the pollution gates into the river are run by some big corporation, an AI data center, they can just mysteriously open up the pollution gates into the river and screwed. So, I'm call me a Luddite, but I'm not into all of this AI.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, then but don't worry, because they're about to put all the data centers in space. So It's gonna be all fine.
Yeah, do you remember probably 25 years ago, I think this is under George Bush Jr., they were talking about having solar panels in space, and then they would be capturing electricity so that it could be microwaved down to Earth, and they would have, with no atmosphere up there, you'd get the purity of capture. But at the same time, the reception center, you'd be sending this massive microwave down into an area. And at the time, I think they were saying they would need an area about as big as Rhode Island to be able to receive it. So you couldn't really live within an area as big as Rhode Island without getting microwaved. And so if Elon has this idea of data centers in outer space, aren't they using the same technology and microwaving the entire Earth with it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the specifics on how these data centers are supposed to, these satellite data centers are supposed to work, or if it's, I mean, I would assume it's some kind of solar power but I don't know what the extent of microwave or radiation that it would cause on Earth, It's a lot, though. I mean, they already have like 15,000 satellites in space. They want to get it to like probably 50,000.
I think regardless, it sounds like some supervillain stuff, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
I was thinking
it's microwaving the Earth and like just nobody should have ever given these people money. But like the whole idea that it's like you'd think it'd be governments that take down the world, but it's like people are going to take down the world. And like, I don't know, some crazy ideas, some things that they get away with, like ungoverned stuff.
Well, and you brought up, Dave was talking about the pollution and everything from these big companies. A lot of the people that are backing on Project 2025 and, what is it? Is that Heritage Foundation or something, right?
Yeah.
And like the Cato Institute and all these created by like the Koch brothers and these different, it reminded me of, we were talking about like conspiracy theories earlier and how there's like utilize this for grifting or disinformation and I've gotten into like debates with people online where people buy into the kind of like the chemtrail conspiracy that there's, they're purposely putting chemicals in the air to like mess with our brains and mind control, stuff like that. Or there's HAARP, that they're controlling the weather and all the, the hurricanes and everything. And the wildfires are all caused by, lasers and, weather control. But a lot of that disinformation comes from these think tanks that are created or at least funded by the world's polluters. So I posit that to people. I say, well, why aren't you looking at this side of it? If you want to believe the outlandish conspiracy, who do you think would benefit most? The people that are actually polluting the earth, that want to maintain making money from polluting the earth, or some strange mind control experiment? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it makes more sense that this is the disinformation tactic. And I wonder what, as we're coming into the, more and more fight against the data centers and the pollution they're causing, the water they're using, what is going to be the disinformation distraction for that, which I don't know, but it'll be something.
Probably some sort of lie on how to hydrate yourself.
Although in good news, I would say that like there was, how they've ended funding for a lot of things. They shut down the climate change website. It was a, government website, but all the scientists that were part of that brought it back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. They did their own fundraising. They brought it back.
We'll make our own website.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah. It's the same. I believe it's the same. I don't know if it used to be .gov and now it's .com. I'm not sure on that, but it's the same site. And they're like, yeah, we're going to put more money into it. We're going to make it better than it used to be. So that's like some good news, at least.
It's not the same thing, but it reminds me of, if you miss the Weather Channel and like Local on the 8s, there's a website where you can put your zip code in, and it's basically like watching Local on the 8s. It's so cool.
Nice. And then also he talked about solar power stuff, and that reminded me of this weird story. Ended on this like weird story. Because it was another one of these like Instagram kind of like, oh my God, what is this? And there was some people doing horseback riders on Mount Shasta, and they heard these like apocalyptic sounds.
Okay.
And they started following them, and they found these solar-powered speakers, like hundreds of them. And they're all playing like weird frequencies and like chanting and all this kind of stuff. So of course everyone on the online's like, oh, they're trying to open a portal to hell, or they're summoning demons, or it's aliens and all this other stuff. And then I guess the woman who found it, she ended up doing some like tracking down, through the local people, and it ended up being like a local landowner, right? Here's the best, though. The owner reportedly placed the hundreds of tiny speakers to project positive messages of veganism, compassion, and world peace into the universe in an attempt to elevate consciousness. And I guess while together they blend into a wall of white noise, up close, each individual speaker plays a unique recording. To prevent trespassing and protect the creator's privacy, the exact GPS coordinates are intentionally being kept secret. Dun, 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 dun. All right, that's it for today's episode of Think Theory Radio. I want to thank everybody for listening. Thanks, Dave, for calling in, and we'll be back again next week and every Saturday, 6 to 7 p.m. right here on WCPT 820 Think Theory Radio.
The Sports Cubicle.
I could say the Bears' all-time leading scorer. I could say 18-year NFL veteran. But for now, I think I'll just say he's the head coach at Rolling Meadows. He's Robbie Gold. What made you go from playing football